panga mtunzi tiende pamozi tonse a Zambia mtima umozi chikondi chatu palibe kusiyana ndife amozi tieni tipange ziko latu.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zambia finds itself in the middle of a tragic comedy, where a nation that should be celebrating democracy, peace and tradition of honoring its leaders is instead trapped in a courtroom soap opera about where to bury Edgar Lungu, the 6th president of the nation. Enter Hakainde Hichilema, one of the few democratic leaders left in Africa, who finds himself doing what no president should ever have to do: apologizing to the whole world because a family feud has turned a state funeral into a circus. Imagine this. While other nations debate artificial intelligence, climate change, and trillion-dollar economies, Zambia is debating witchcraft and where to dig a grave. Welcome to African politics, where sense often takes the back seat and superstition drives the bus. When British journalist Martine Dennis put the question to him, Hichilema didn't flinch. He didn't say, "That's a family issue." He didn't say, "That's politics." Instead, he said, "I'm sorry." Sorry, not just to Zambians, but to the entire planet that has to endure headlines about voodoo rituals and witchcraft rituals delaying a burial. In that apology, it wasn't the kind of fake "we regret the inconvenience" line you hear when an airline cancels your flight. It was genuine, the kind of sorrow you hear from someone embarrassed that a proud nation has been reduced to explaining why the coffin of a former head of state is still in limbo months after the death. And then came the nuclear strike against nonsense. Hichilema categorically dismissed witchcraft as the sideshow it is. There is no witchcraft. There is only one who takes away life and who gives life. It is God. Boom. In one stroke, he destroyed the whispers, the rumors, and the cheap politics of fear. Because, let's be honest, if leaders start legitimizing witchcraft in governance, then tomorrow's cabinet meetings will look like scenes from Harry Potter, complete with broomsticks and cauldrons. What would one do with the dead anyway? As Hichilema rightly asked, do they imagine a ghost army rising to contest the 2026 elections? Honestly, if witchcraft could really shift power, Robert Mugabe would still be ruling from the grave. But here is the real tragedy. While Zambia waits, mourns and debates, the Lungu family is playing legal tennis, bouncing from one court to another like Djokovic in a 5-set match. First, they ran to the Constitutional Court, rejected. Now, they are back at the High Court. And we hear now they are struggling to pay their ex-lawyer, Nzukaitobi. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe they will try the International Court of Justice. The inconsistency is staggering. One minute they dismiss the burial agreement, the next minute they want it back. And while they flip-flop, a nation that once prided itself on peaceful transfer of power is left looking like a country that cannot even agree on how to respect its dead. Meanwhile, Hichilema, juggling economic reforms and election prep, is forced to waste valuable time explaining the obvious: that state funerals come with military honors, that Zambia has a precedent, and that burying Lungu at home is about national respect, not political malice. He said it best: moving on to go where? Economic management continues, election preparation continue, but this burial debate has to be resolved because it's about the people's wishes, not his personal agenda. That's leadership. not dodging the hard conversations but facing them head on with logic. And let's not forget the optics. This dispute has made Zambia look like a family torn apart in front of millions. Hichilema admitted, "We are sorry about exposing the family, the country, the region, and the world to this unfortunate situation." Imagine that, a sitting president apologizing because a burial has turned into a Netflix drama. That humility, rare in African politics, is exactly why Zambians voted him in. He may not have all the answers, but he knows when the nation is embarrassing itself and he is not afraid to say it out loud. The saddest part, this whole saga has overshadowed Lungu's actual legacy. Love him or hate him, he served 7 years as president, and that office deserves dignity in death. Instead of uniting to honor him, his memory is being dragged through courts, family divisions, and superstitious mudslinging. It's a reminder that in Africa, even in death, politics refuses to rest. So, here is the reality. Edgar Lungu will eventually be buried, but the scars of this saga will remain. Hichilema has chosen reason over rumor, law over chaos, and dignity over disgrace. The Lungu family, meanwhile, must decide whether they want history to remember them as the guardians of his honor or the architects of a national embarrassment. Until then, the world watches as Zambia, one of Africa's brightest democratic lights, proves that even in the land of democracy, sometimes common sense takes the longest route to arrive. And if you are tired of hearing about voodoo, witchcraft, and endless court appeals, then hit that subscribe button now, because on this channel, we bury the lies faster than politicians bury the truth. This is Zambian Files in collaboration with Zimos TV.
I'm a liberated soul. I'm an African who does not believe in witchcraft. And I want to urge Africans to move away from these beliefs of witchcraft and therefore reduce the utilization of vaccines. I can tell you from the politics, even within our political party, we won elections against those who received a lot of medical support in witchcraft. Even the national elections. Those things take a lot of our brains, time, intellectual gray matter. And we walk away from solutions to save lives, such as vaccines.